This is a video I've been struggling and trying to make for close to a year, and it's just a lot of thoughts I want to get out. My mental health has not been great for pretty much most of this year. I think a lot of us are in the same boat. The world is a very scary place right now. There's a lot of stuff on our brains. YouTube is a very anxious work environment. I want to talk about that quite a bit in this video because this has been dwelling on my mind a while, and I think my creative friends can relate to this. I'm very anxious about the new content I make because I feel like it goes out there with the comparison of the older stuff I've made, and there's a lot of pressure on that new content to try and live up to what I've done before and what I'm very much known for. Things like 100 Minecraft players, I'm very much known for that. Things like my old City Skylines playthrough, things like the old Wii games that I play. I feel like that puts a lot of pressure and expectation on the newer stuff I do, that it has to match that caliber of content. And if it doesn't do as well as that old content, I failed. I'm a failure. I'm washed up. All my good ideas are gone. When that's simply not true. Because I know that when I made a lot of that content back in the day, that was the new stuff, and that didn't do well originally. It's just over time people kind of came in and appreciated for what it was. Because my mental health isn't well, my anxiety is just kind of telling me more that I'm a failure at what I'm doing on YouTube, and that makes it hard for me to just make content. It's an unfortunate thing about YouTube, but it puts a lot of pressure on you because it's a very anxious work environment. On YouTube, it's not really enough to just have your content do well. The important thing is your channel growing? And there's very much a culture and very much a meta where, is your channel growing? Because if it's not growing, it's not doing well, and you're gonna be dead tomorrow, and that's the end of your career. You can see that in the rise of a lot of channels over the past few years, my own included, I guess, in that sense. It was kind of this like astronomical thing where it's like I went from like 100k subs to 1 million in like 4 months, and it's like, holy shit, the channel's doing really well. But then that set the expectation and pressure then it's like your channel has to keep doing that well or you're fucked. And I think on YouTube, we very much obsess over things like numbers like that and like subscriber counts, statistics and analytics, that it puts a lot of pressure on the content that we make, and it's harder for us to just have fun with what we're doing because we're constantly stressing. It was like, oh, are we still growing? Are we growing as well? And if we're not growing as well, what have we done wrong? And a lot of the time there isn't really anything we've done wrong. It's just the culture on YouTube that you have to keep constantly be doing better and better and better and better, and that just sets this absurd pressure on you that really just like kind of takes away at your mental health. And it kind of like goes against what would be my philosophy for the channel. And my philosophy for the channel has always been that it's like I want to just keep trying to find something new and find something entertaining, because I don't want to just be known for like the one thing on my channel, and even if I find success with a series, I move on to the next thing rather than stick it out with that, because I think I want to do something new. I don't just want to exhaust a joke or exhaust a series until it reaches the point of ad nauseum, where I'm just doing this for the sake of the analytics, or I'm just doing this because I know this will do well. I've never been about that, and that has led to like a lot of like the defining series on this channel, and like a lot of new stuff that and like us just swapping genres like kind of on a dime. Like if you think about it, in like 2018. When I was getting my start, like in variety content, like I was doing a lot of Minecraft, City Skylines, Planet Coaster. You look at last year then, and it's like I'm doing stuff like Fable, Scribblenauts. I was doing more Hitman. Minecraft Story Mode kind of came up there. Look at this year then, and it's like Breath of the Wild, Subnautica, Forza. And the consistent thing is that it's always been different for me, and that's what I thoroughly enjoy. Because I like this idea of having a variety of content on the channel, and when I make that variety of content, part of the channel philosophy I have is that I'm not trying to make something that will immediately do well. I'm trying to make something that 5 years down the line people are still going to want to watch. just kind of like an entertaining collection of videos. To have that there, and I love the idea of just all these gathered series where it's like, if you like my City Skylines contents, here's a playlist. If you like my Minecraft, here's a playlist. If you like my Zelda, here's a playlist. And I try to avoid like trying to chase like past glory. But because of anxiety and because of YouTube pressure and the meta, that kind of creates a lot of tension there then, because YouTube doesn't like it if you try to do something new like that. It almost punishes you because in part how algorithms and association works on YouTube is if you keep doing the one thing, it'll trend and trend and trend and trend, and it'll all trickle back into those videos you were doing before, and that's basically like the content that YouTube will push. Whereas then if you try something different, YouTube is like, no, I don't want that, people don't want to see that, and then that breeds a lot of anxiety because it's like, oh fuck, people aren't watching the new stuff, I guess they don't like this, God, am I a failure? And it all kind of loops back in on itself and puts this constant pressure on the creator to just keep doing better and keep chasing like what would be past glory and like do the next big thing, do the next big thing. And it kind of takes some of the fun out of it because you're anxious and you're pressured so much of the time. I think like with my channel's philosophy of trying to do something new every time, there's a bit of a conflict there, because by trying to do something new all the time, YouTube is like, well, I'm going to punish it for that. You know, you're not going to do as well, and that breeds a lot of anxiety. That makes it harder for me to do something new, when ultimately I just want to keep the channel fun. I just want to keep doing the new thing because that's what I enjoy and that's what I'm happiest. You know, like, I love when I can just pick up something like, let's just start a new series on this. But lately, because my mental health hasn't been well and because anxiety is coming down on me, it's been harder for me to do stuff like that, and I feel much more pressured. Something else that has unfortunately not helped is my physical appearance. Whenever I show my face on my channel, it seems to be this odd controversial thing because I don't always show my face on the channel, and people feel the need to like very much criticize my appearance and ridicule how I look. I actually quite like how I look, and I'm very insecure about my appearance because every single time I show my face, people fixate on it. They point out things like my teeth, my hair, my facial structure. I've got a bit of a long face. I'm very much aware of that. I look like the guy out of Ratatouille. But like things like my teeth, I've been insecure about my entire life. I've always wanted to get braces for them, and I was gearing up to do that before, half the world closed down because of COVID. But people still feel the need to kind of point that out and just ridicule how I look. Repeat comments that I get is, can you do an unface reveal? I prefer you without your face. Why show your face? It ruins the illusion. Anyone saying those comments, you're an asshole. It makes me very anxious about kind of just doing things like in regards to Twitch and YouTube. Because I feel like I can't just be myself, because sometimes for content I do actually just want to show my face, but because of this it makes it much more challenging, and especially when my mental health and anxiety already isn't doing well, I've got a bunch of assholes to contend with too, and it just kind of puts more and more pressure on me. And it kind of like there's some video ideas where I don't even attempt to do them now because this would require my face. Something I've wanted to do for a while is just more Just Dance content because I think that's fucking hilarious. And I've wanted to do like a series of videos where I just kind of talk a bit more about life. We kind of just like step back from entertaining, funny gameplay moments and let's just be real. Like let's just kind of have some heart to hearts, because I do enjoy doing that. I do that on Twitch quite often. I just never really get to bring that to YouTube. But because of anxiety and mental health, and then, some people just being like outright mean, it's creating a very anxious work environment for me, which is just something that I've been just trying to combat in general. I've been struggling this last while just because of a culmination of these things. And a lot of people in this situation would say, like, just take some time off, just take a break. The thing is, I love doing this, and I feel happier when I'm doing Twitch and YouTube. Because it really is my passion in life, and I can get quite miserable if I step away from it for too long or like take too much time off, if that makes sense. because it makes me sad. Because I just enjoy my work, and I love what I do. It is absolutely my passion in life. So I still want to keep making content. But I guess I just want to kind of update people that it's like, I'm a bit anxious. My mental health has been significantly better. YouTube is an anxious work environment. And the work environment of YouTube and the culture of it is kind of conflicting with my philosophy for making content, which puts a bit of added pressure and a bit of added stress on me. If people could really stop making fun of my appearance, I would really appreciate that. I know that kind of even invites more people to just kind of like troll and kind of harass me, even by virtue of saying it, because there's always people on the online sphere just rooting for you to fail or find something to latch onto so they can kind of criticize and harass you. As there are supporters, there are also people who just actively want to see you fail, which is another kind of hard, like, unfortunate pressure of making content online and being in a public space. I just want to let people know that everything is kind of going on in my head, though, and what's been happening in my life, and just what I'm trying to contend with. And I've been trying to kind of make changes to kind of combat this to the best of my abilities, and ultimately I just want to kind of have more fun with the channel again. And I want to try and kind of overcome some of these anxieties and mental health issues I'm having, and this constant pressure. And again, I feel this is something that a lot of creators on the platform can relate to, but it's not often talked about, because on YouTube and that, like, we see people's successes most of the time, and these like amazing compilations of things creators have made, but we don't often see them struggling, when there is a lot of struggling that goes on behind the scenes, and sometimes it can just be a bit much. Sometimes you just need to get that out. Here's a funny compilation for the end of the video of Jessie twirling, and I felt very bad for her because she crashed into the whiteboard.
In the sunshine.
You alright?